Today we're changing an exhaust gasket. So on these Ram 3500s and 2500s, they're mainly flange joints. There is one slip fitting for the tailpipe. So this gasket here failed on me. The bottom of it was blown out and dripping DEF fluid. Wasn't sure how this job is going to go, being it's an exhaust job, so I did get some spare parts. So this goes further upstream in the exhaust. I think in front of the DPF is where it would be, and then that's the turbo downpipe connection. There's a V-grooved kind of clamp that grabs onto around that, and if you take your turbo out, you should have one of these on hand to replace it anyway. So I got these gaskets, and it uses locking nuts for the flanges, so I bought 7 of them just in case. And then if I need to take my DEF injector out, I need to have these flanged bolts here as well. So I've got them. One thing is that the DEF injector gasket is on back order in Canada anyway. There's like 180 people waiting for them, and the aftermarket ones look kind of suspicious. So I'm not going to try and take out my DEF injector because the nuts or bolts are completely rotted off. So we'll take a look at the job. So being an exhaust job, you need to be able to do some work under the vehicle. So I've got it up on the ramps here sideways. And exhaust work never goes well in Canada. So this truck is 2015. It's got about 260,000 miles on it, like 450,000 kilometers. And so taking off the nuts, one of them came off, one of them snapped off. So that's a future problem for me to get that out of there. And then 2 of them, like you can see, it starts off at a 15 millimeter. It was about 12 millimeter right there. I had to use a half and smaller strip nut remover kind of thing. And then to get this out of here, my air hammer is not very good, so I ended up having to use a ball joint press to push that out. So that's sort of the tools at hand here. And we'll go look under the truck. I could have used one more tool, being some kind of a tool for pushing off the rubber support gasket or support rubbers for the exhaust, because it's kind of chilly out today. It's just right around freezing, and rubber is quite hard and I can't push them off. Then I've got a carbide scraper here as well, and you'll see why here in a second. And I've got a bar. Where is this thing? Alright, here we are. So it was dripping out of the base here, and the DEF injector is just right up there. I don't know if we can see it or not. Fasteners are just totally gone there. So I'm really worried about bumping that thing and it falling off, because I don't want to take the exhaust off. So you can see the one slip joint kind of right there. And that's held on by rubber supports all the way along. Sorry, just have to use a flashlight here. Not much of a choice in the matter. So this face is all kind of got this destroyed gasket squished on it. It appears like it's stainless, but whatever chemical reactions that are taking place have made quite a mess of the surface. I don't know if you can see in there or not. You can kind of see the back of something. I don't know how these work exactly. I know there's a DPF in there and then SCR. In my last diesel vehicle, it only had a DPF, so I'm not sure which order they're in. But anyway, there's impulse lines and sample lines all over the exhaust system. And what I did to separate this was I just had to wiggle my pry bar in here and pull this apart And now I'm just kind of working away with the carbide scraper and everything I've got to try and clean it up, and then I'll put the new gasket in. Hopefully I can get it over the studs. And then I had, like I said, I had to push one out. They're 10 millimeter by 1.5, so I'll have to get a bolt or something to tuck in there. It doesn't seem like Ram has as many parts as you might need to do a job in stock. So I don't know if how they manage that. That must be tough as a mechanic if you can't get any parts. Or maybe they're only working on newer vehicles, so it's not a big deal. I don't know. So to work under here is handy to have blocks. Be careful you don't go so far you roll your truck over. But I figured it'd be safe to go up the height of a curb, because if you're going slow you shouldn't roll over going over a curb. So that's sort of my thought process there. So I think that's where we're going to stop the video. I just got to find a way to finagle that gasket in there after I get the face cleaned, and I'll be done. Alright, so I got some updates. This filter is incorrect. I did some research online, and I don't know what it's for, but it doesn't fit these trucks, even though Felpro sells them. So this filter is like a mirror. If you flip it anyway, it's identical. One of these bolt holes needs to be off over here, probably 1/2 inch. So I'm gonna have to snip it off and shove it in there. And then I did a bit more research on how the exhaust works on this truck. And what I found is that there's another filter. That's the SCR here in the back with the DEF injector shooting into it. So you can kind of reach in there and like clean the dirt out, but anything that might have been on the DPF side could have fallen down and gotten trapped in the DPF. So I'm gonna have to block off the SCR and start the truck and just to blow any trash out, because it's a fairly fine mesh filter back there, and if anything goes in there and plugs it up, you lose that capacity in your system. So that's where I'm at. I probably spent an hour picking away at these flange faces here, trying to get them clean, and I'm pretty close now. But then when I went to go put the filter in, I couldn't get the thing in. And then to get the filter in without having any like damaging it, you can put the bar here and pull back, so you can get, or sorry, not the filter, get the gasket in here without damaging it. It's just that it doesn't fit, which is kind of annoying. So I have to snip the corner off there, and like I said, blow the exhaust out, and then I should be off to the races. Alright, so there's my solution for blocking off the exhaust. So let's give this a quick remote start. So I'm just going to go and rev this thing up and make sure there's nothing in there. Alright, the world of unintended consequences. I had I was on E when I put the truck up like this, and now revving it up, I think I ran out of fuel. So anyway, the exhaust is clear, but the truck won't rev, so we'll see how we get down from here. Alright, so this is how much I had to cut off with the gasket. So that's the upper ear on the I guess the road side, not the center side under the dry shaft, but the side of the truck side. And so I got things in. I feel like there's still a bit of a gap at the bottom, so maybe there's a flange problem there. I got these things as tight as possible, and it seems like it's the gasket's struggling to do a good job there. But it's the best I can do for now. It's starting to snow here. I don't know if you can see it or not. It's a bit of a chilly day. Still debating whether I want to do my fuel filters and grease the drive line here. That may happen yet. It's still kind of early in the day. So hopefully this was useful. Thanks for watching.